Hey guys, and welcome to tutorial time on Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 1. Anyway, let's talk to you first. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to give us all the different tutorials. Normally, I would skip every tutorial and show you myself, but I can't remember absolutely everything. And this goes over some interesting bits. Just make sure you hit the circle button, which is actually the OK button in this game, and X is cancel. They went old school with, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger style button orientations in this game for whatever reason. Anyway, if you look down on the lower right, excuse me, you have your turn window, kind of like Final Fantasy X. You can see who's going to go next, but in this case you can only usually see up to about 4 people in advance. And so yeah, the way these work is you basically see who's going to be next, and I'll show off additional information. It says the order is reshuffled. That's kind of a bad way of saying it because it's all determined by your agility stat anyway. Anyway, at any point during the menu, press left or right to select different targets, and your attacks will be done with either square or triangle. In a similar vein, what they did with Xenogears, the battle system kind of inherited from there. Anyway, there's 3 types of enemies in this game: biological, mechanical, and the G1, which we'll learn about later. I think they actually mentioned the name of them in this tutorial, or in one of the tutorials anyway. Now, they're talking about AP. If you look at Shion up in the top left there, we have HP, EP, which of course stands for Ether Points, just like Xenogears, and then we have AP. Now, AP is your action points, or ability points, or whatever they call it in this game, I don't know. Basically, you need those in order to act. You get 4 at the start of every turn, you basically have 2 chances to attack. So I can do an attack now. Now if I hit, say, X, or sorry, if I hit X, I go to the menu. We'll talk about the menu momentarily. Hit the X to get out of the menu. You have 2 attacks that you can do per turn. Each of those attacks takes 2 AP. If you notice up there, I have 4. You get 4 at the start of each one, and hitting the, say, square button will make me do an attack. And now I have the option of doing square or triangle. Now, the different types of attacks, square usually represents a physical attack and a close attack, while triangle usually represents a far away attack and an ether-based attack, or a magical-based attack. Now, you can, like, if you use a square attack first and then a triangle attack, obviously it's no longer ranged. I think it's still determined by her magic stat. Maybe. It's hard to say. You'll see point times 2 there. We'll get into that more later. They're just talking about what I just explained. And now we get a chance to make use of KOS-MOS. KOS-MOS has a 3rd option with the circle button, but it's grayed out. If you notice there, it requires 6 AP. It's got 3 different numbers there. 6 AP, so I need to either use a single attack and then hit the X button to cancel the 2nd attack, and basically save up that 2 AP for later, or I need to guard, and of course there's guard there. Guard uses 2 AP, and then you get 4 on your next one and you're ready to go. Guard also lowers damage a little bit. Anyway, so from a range you can use the triangle attack to do a lot of damage. Of course, KOS-MOS is much more powerful than Shion for obvious reasons. Now, once you get high critical over there on the right side, it basically means your chances of getting a critical next are hard, or higher than normal. So let's just do it again. Chances are I'll get another critical, do lots of damage, end this guy real fast.
Clear.
Now, this is going to be a lot to cover, considering, how much there is to do. Yeah, and the body flashing phenomenon, it's the standard bit of invincibility when you run from battles with most games where you see the enemies on the field, which is what will happen in this game. No more random battles, unlike Xenogears. Anyway, let's show off some tech attacks. I'm just going to go through a lot of the dialogue they talk about quickly and kind of show off and talk about things, so hopefully you'll be able to understand them. They're talking about the 6 AP thing that I was saying before if you wanted to save up. Anyway, so I already explained how to save up. So if I want to go ahead and use that one, and I'll press the X button, I end my turn. And then I've saved 2 if you look at Xion there. The other thing to do is guard, so we can guard. Anyway, now I can perform a tech attack. Now, tech attacks are basically more powerful attacks, and they're going to be doing the vast majority of the damage for most of the game. Anyway, so in this case, there is a distance thing that determines which one we do if we go up close at all. So if I hit square first and then triangle, I would be able to do lightning blast. If I hit triangle first and then square, I'd be able to use lightning blast. If I use square, square, lightning blast. Only way to use spell ray is triangle, triangle. As I've said, the close square-based attacks are usually physically based. The distance ones are usually ether-based. Both of these characters, KOS-MOS and Xion, have much higher ether damage, magical output, than they do physical. KOS-MOS is a little more balanced. Xion sucks for physical. So we're going to want to use Spell Ray pretty much every time. So in order to do that, we need to expend all 6 of our AP, triangle, triangle, and now we have the option to do Spell Ray, which will probably have a critical now. Somehow it didn't critical. Sad. Anyway, and KOS-MOS has different ones. She also has that third one with the circle that I mentioned. It's called her sub-weapon in most cases, and most of them are, they'll say FG shot, FB shot, FM shot for, you know, the G enemies, biological and mechanical. For the most part, as in the vast majority of the game, I won't be using them because I just don't care for them. There's a couple that are decent, but for the most part, we'll be avoiding them. Our cannon and our blade, they're both relatively powerful. I showed off the distance one, so let's show off, the sub-weapon can only be used a certain amount of times. I think that first number, they'll show you right here, yeah. So the contents of that little bar next to FG shot are ammo, so the amount of times it can be used, the EP consumed, and the required AP. So sometimes it uses your ether points, sometimes not. Anyway, so I showed off a distance one. Let's use a close one instead. Our blade. And she just beats the crap out of him with her arm, you know, kind of like Ed from Full Metal, I guess, in a sense. Alright, so I'm just going to skip past the victory screen. Stop that controller. For now, we'll go over what we actually get out of there later. And let's check out the sub-menus. No, I said sub-menus. Come on, there we go. Trying to go through this quickly because I know tutorials are never fun. Anyway, so yeah, basically it's going to show you what you use. Ether uses a spell, consumes 4 AP. Item uses 3 AP, so you get 1 left over. If you have an item that can be used with W, basically there'll be a W next to it. It'll cost you 6 AP in order to use it, so you already have to be fully stocked. And when you press the triangle on that item, it'll use 2 of them and give its effect to the entire party, which, as you can see from the amount of space at the top, you can fit up to 3 party members in battle at one time. So using 2 to heal everybody at the same time for the equivalent of 1, or, you know, the equivalent of 1 for each, is actually kind of useful. Move in this game is useless. It basically switches you rows. I almost never use it. Very rarely. Okay, a couple of reasons, and now that I think about it, but not a whole lot. Now, eggs, yes, that's how they pronounce it in cinematics, eggs, A-G-W-S, are the gears of this game, the mechs. We'll go over them a little bit later. Guard, reduce the amount of damage, as you would expect. Escape does not exist in this game. I hate you. Escape should always exist in games. You must use either an escape pack item or Xion's goodbye tech, or ether spell, I think, in order to escape from a battle. This becomes a big problem in Xenosaga 2, and I'll get into that when we get there. Anyway, so let's go with that one and use enough close attack too. Sure, why not? Anyway, now we learn about boost. Okay, now below your AP up at the top left, HP, EV, AP, and then BG, boost gauge. Now, what your boost gauge does is allows you to cut in line in turns, and it fills up by using normal attacks and also being hit, depending on certain things. Anyway, it's difficult to raise in this one, so they're just going to give us 2 boosts. Now we have 2 boosts. So the number to the right determines the number of full ones you get, as that little meter in pink or red or whatever that's supposed to be on Shion's boost gauge there. Once it gets all the way over to the right, you get another one, up to 3 max. And each character gets an individual boost count in this game, and it's reset at the end of every battle. So make use of them in battle because you don't get to keep them. You must have at least 1 boost in order to use it, and they also must not be visible on the bottom right turn window. So if KOS-MOS is on there, KOS-MOS can't boost herself in this game. You might get an ability later, I can't remember. I don't think so. Anyway, so what you want to do is use R1 to see if characters can be boosted. As you can see there, Shion can be boosted. And the 3 characters that you have in your party will have different icons. So they'll either be surrounded by a purple square, in which case you hold R1 and then press square in order to boost that character, triangle, and circle, each for the individual characters depending on where they are in your line. Yeah, basically, even if the enemy is currently doing something, you can boost and your turn will take place immediately after that turn ends. You can't interrupt a turn. You can just make yourself go next in line. So, like, I can boost Shion here. Not that it's going to do me any good, but I can do it. In fact, well, no, we'll get into that momentarily here. So let's show off a couple more attacks. Most of her attacks, they're basic ones. I don't care to show off. They're not particularly interesting. Here we learn about the event slot, which is the little thing with the... yeah, they show off what it is. There you go. Now, there's 4 different ones that happen. And if you look at the bottom, they even show you which one is the event slot, which is nice. Anyway, effects of the slot icons. So this one increases critical hit rate for both you or the enemy, depending on who's actually doing anything. So if you're attacking, you have a higher chance of hitting a critical. If they're attacking, vice versa. Yes, we know. Boost gauge up. This will be very useful in actually getting you a boost, because just doing normal attacks on every other event slot is going to be very slow at building up your boost gauge. Now, special points up. There are 3 kinds of special points. They'll go over it eventually, but there's 3 kinds, and this will make them go up either by 2 times, 4 times, or 10 times. So we're going to want to kill pretty much every enemy on this slot. And yeah, so I'll talk about them here. I'll explain what they do later. So we have ether points, which allow you to get more spells in the spell tree or transfer those spells to other characters, because each character has their own tree. Skill points, draw out skills from accessories. I'll explain that later. It's too confusing now. And tech points change characters' basic parameters. These do 2 things. They level up your tech attacks like Spell Ray and R Blade. They also can directly change your stats by increasing them by expending points. I won't do too much of the points on stats because I want to spend a lot of them on my tech attacks, because that makes a huge difference. But I will do some just to kind of make up for some characters' weaknesses. Anyway, if we kill this guy on the skill one here, which is the event slot we have, we will get points times 2. It's a random amount. To an extent, you can manipulate it with save states. I won't be doing it too much, probably boss fights, and that's about it. Anyway, enough with the tutorial. No, I wanted to press down one more time. So switch to real combat. Alright, so let's go in. Now the enemies will attack us back. And for some reason they do this. Basically, I guess this is supposed to be like a Matrix kind of, what was it? What they call it? A loading program or whatever it was, where they experience things prior to, you know, actually getting into the Matrix kind of deal.
Target locked on. Commencing combat.
Actual battle. Yes, we know. Okay, now the enemies attack. So, yeah, defeat the enemy on the right or our left first, because it can attack everyone at once. And the enemy in the middle has high HP. You should defeat it with tech attacks, which you don't need to. Yeah, there's 3 types. We've already kind of seen that. Biological type, mechanical type, and Gnosis type. Gnosis, of course, I think being Greek for knowledge. Meh, whatever. Anyway, so first things first, we want to take them down. Now, I'm going to hit you once because I want to save up for tech attack to show something off. And I'm going to have you and you, and since you only need to hit once, yeah, I'll cancel with you too. Of course, he gets to go on the slot. That's great. Alright, so I'm going to make a save state. More laggy than it normally does. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, let's show off. You think, okay, this is a machine. Should be weak to lightning, right? So, lightning blast. And these are all with criticals, by the way. Yeah. So that's how much damage you did. Just about 80 damage. Just barely enough to take that down. So let's load that save state, and let's try that again using her ether stat, which is much better. As you can see, we're going to more than double the amount of damage that we did. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give a demonstration of how effective it is to make use of character strengths, even if you're not exploiting a weakness. And in your case, I am going to guard. Mainly because I know I'm going to get another turn here, and then I'm going to take him down on the skill one to get more skill points. And we can show off our cannon now.
Charging. Our cannon.
And we got points times 4.
The enemies have been exterminated.
There are lots of starting battle quotes and ending battle quotes, as well as different quotes for using spells and such, as well as attacks. And for the most part, they sound pretty cool in this game. Anyway, this is the clear screen here, so at the top bar there, we see clear time and the amount of money that we got for that fight. The 1 in plus on the far right is how much money we got. And if you look down, we see our characters, we see next level below EP, and the total amount of experience we have. And basically, if you see the minus 00003 next to next level, basically you subtract the 3 experience that we got, indicated right below it, from the next level, whatever. Anyway, over on the far right, we have tech points, ether points, and skill points. We have a total of 7 each with each of our characters, and we gain 3 for that fight. Not all enemies give equal amounts. In fact, very few give equal amounts of each type.
All processes to 300 cleared.
Chief, the data transfer is going smoothly. The A-line protocol is looking good.
It sure is. The response levels are really good.
If we can maintain these levels, we'll have some great results soon.
Yeah.
I like how they kind of change, give her an echo for her voice here, because it makes sense. The audio's going through like a little speaker,
Alan,
right?
Let's skip all 300 level processes and start from 400.
Huh? 400? Chief, but that's...
I feel pretty confident this
Yeah,
time.
see, they do it when it makes sense.
But, Chief,
I like that.
Remember what happened last time? Had we waited 10 more seconds to intervene, we wouldn't have been able to get you back at all.
can't we at least test it out in objective mode?
You know we can't get precise data that way. I'll be fine. If something happens, I'll get myself out. Besides, you want to test it out as well, don't you? We spent all night building the native A-line protocol.
Well, yeah, but...
That settles it. Let's get started.
She's the boss.
Alright then. But if anything happens, I'm gonna shut it down from here.
So don't press your luck.
All right, all right.
And don't deviate from the program.
Okay, Mom.
Jeez, this is so typical of her. Will she ever stop to think about the hell I go through for her?
And we see there's...
Sir, the way you worry about Chief Uzuki all the time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't keeled over already.
No doubt.
Hey! That's enough.
Back to work.
Is the 400 level program ready to go?
We're ready to go anytime.
Then start up the program. I want detailed reports from every monitoring station. Any abnormalities, and I'm shutting down immediately.
Alan's kind of funny. We'll see why as the game progresses. Anyway, we're going to explain about this. This is an imaginary space constructed within the network. It's modeled off some ruins from early 2000 AD. Mission is to fight the main target within the dilapidated building. Target is marked with a red vector box. There are other objects around here, things you can blow up, and we'll go into that kind of shortly. Yeah, I know how to do that already. Anyway, let's begin the mission. So, the way this works is you go up to anything that's destroyable, and you press the, you press the square button and it destroys it. You press R1 or L1, you can cycle through the different ones. So right now, the light blue one is the one I'm selecting. So I blow that one up, and that gets this enemy pissed off at me. Now, if I can get him over here... No, I don't think that's gonna... Yeah. See, what that is it's a trap. And what the traps do is that one's yellow. So it'll give me full AP to start the fight. The other one, I think, gives me like 2 boost gauges to start the fight. Either way, not particularly important. So, I should be able to just kill this one with 2 triangle attacks. Hopefully. There we go. Well, I got a critical, so that works. So I got that one, and I got my skill points. This one, I'll just kill the normal way. We really don't need to save up for our, what is it? The tech attacks to take this guy out. He's only got 80 HP, so I'm just going to guard with you. KOS-MOS has more than enough damage to take this guy down, so might as well just do that. And since I guarded, I managed to get him on the points 4 on the skill.
Appearance is down 5%. Shion, I need to be clean.
And that is my favorite line from this game because I am a pig and I find that hilarious. Yes, KOS-MOS, even though she's robotic, is actually rather funny. And we got a med kit. It's a basic potion healing item thing. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So that's all for this episode of Let's Play Xenosaga. Next time we will go through this and I'll show off how to make use of some skill points and some tech points and all this other stuff and kind of explain the process. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.